It's Kayla from Pinnguaq, and welcome to the July Maker Pack video tutorial in collaboration with the Kawartha Lakes Libraries. Today I'm going to take you through the step-by-step process in creating your very own kite. To begin, make sure that you have all of the materials from your Maker Pack, including your 2 wooden dowels, your garbage bag, your string, your jumbo popsicle stick, your pipe cleaners, and additional things that you'll want to have is strong tape, a pair of scissors, and a ruler. To begin, you're going to take your 2 wooden dowels and create a lowercase T shape and lay that shape down on your flat surface. Next, you're going to cut approximately 30 centimeters of string from your long piece of string. And you're going to wrap this around the center of your T to secure the 2 wooden dowels together. So to do this, I'm going to actually take my string and place it under my vertical wooden dowel. And then I'm going to pull down gently, and I'm just going to start wrapping it around my horizontal wooden dowel. Once it's nice and secure, we're going to tie it off by creating a knot. So make sure that you wrap it nice and tight in different directions to really secure those 2 wooden dowels together. All right, and when you're ready, you can tie it off. If you have any extra string, you can always use your scissors to cut off any additional string. So I've tied mine 2 times, and I'm just going to cut off the extra string here. And I'm just going to adjust my wooden dowels so they are centered. If you want, you could always use your ruler to measure and make sure that both sides are equal in length. For the next step, you're going to lay your wooden dowel on the flat garbage bag on your table, and then we're going to trace around it. I'm going to use my ruler for this, and I'm going to make sure that I leave additional space around each edge of my lowercase T shape. This is going to let us create our kite and wrap it over our wooden dowels so that it's nice and secure in our later steps. So take your marker or pencil or pen, whatever you're using, and create your shape all the way around the outside of your wooden dowels. And when you're ready, you can move your wooden dowels aside, and using your scissors, you can cut out your diamond shape very carefully. Once you've cut out your diamond shape, you can use your markers or crayons or pencils or whatever you would like to use to design your kite. When your design is ready, take your wooden dowels that are taped together or stuck together with our string in its T position and place it in the center of your kite. Next, you're going to take your tape and you are going to place a piece of tape on each end of the dowel to secure it to the back of the kite. So I'm going to take my first piece, just going to stick it to the end, and I'm going to repeat this step 3 more times. You want to make sure that you're using some really strong tape because we don't want the wind to pull the tape off of our kite. last piece onto the top. Now for our next step, you're going to actually fold the edges of the kite up and over. Now, it doesn't have to be super tight. We want to make sure there's a little bit of slack so that the wind catches our kite. So I'm going to cut some longer strips of tape, and I'm going to cut these pieces of tape in half because they are quite thick. So I'm just going to take my tape and then carefully cut down the center, and that will create 2 pieces of tape for me. You might want to ask for a little bit of help with this. I know this can be very tricky. So I have my thinner piece of tape now, and I'm going to take my edge and just carefully fold it over. And then I'm going to take my tape and carefully add my tape to the edge so that it is stuck onto the back of the kite. And I'm going to repeat this step for every single edge. So I'm going to take my next edge and I'm going to fold it over. Take my piece of tape and I'm going to take the edge down. Need a little extra on this side. Just going to cut my tape again in half. It's a little bit thinner. And stick that on my kite. And maybe one more piece to make sure that it's nice and secure at the bottom. All right. Now we're going to repeat this again on the other 2 sides so that the top of our kite is also nice and secure to the wooden dowels. Just going to fold my edge over, get my tape ready. And I'm just taking my edges here if I have any extra plastic from my bag, and I'm just actually folding it in and under so that it's not sticking out and it doesn't get stuck in the wind. I'm just going to take this piece down. Perfect. And then my last side, I'm just going to tuck under and get my piece of tape and tape my last edge down. So now I have my kite, there's some slack so it's not too tight so it'll catch the wind. And now we need to attach our string. So for the next step, you're going to take your string and we're going to cut approximately again another 30 centimeters at most. And I'm going to take one end of my string and I'm going to tie it in the middle of one side of my dowel, and I'm going to repeat that step on the other side. So I'm going to start by tying a knot. Make sure that I double knot it here so that it doesn't fall off. And then I'm going to repeat that and I'm going to create another knot on this side of my horizontal wooden dowel. And I'll double knot this as well. Now I have a nice loop created between our 2 sides of our horizontal dowel. And if it's too close, you could always spread them out since our knots slide along the wooden dowel. But you want to make sure that you have some space there. Next Next, we want to take our long flight string, so all of the string that we have left, and we are going to take one end of that string and we're going to tie it to the center of the string we just attached. So I'm going to tie a nice tight knot here, and again I'm going to double knot it so that it's really stuck to this piece of string. I'm just going to cut off my excess string here. And I have my kite ready to go. The last thing you need to add is your tail before we add the handle. So I'm going to cut off one more chunk of string here. And you just want to make sure that your tail is a good length. So I've cut just under 30 centimeters. And I'm going to actually use tape to just attach it. You could also tie it if you would like to tie it to your vertical dowel. I'm just going to add a piece of tape here. So when we create our tail, we want to make sure that our tail is a little bit heavier so that when our kite is flying high in the sky, that it does not just flop around, and it actually helps weigh this end of the kite down so that the kite can catch that wind and stay nice and high up in the sky. So with my tail, I'm just going to take a piece of pipe cleaner and I'm just going to cut off a couple small chunks here. I'm going to try and make them all the same length so they are easy to work with. And then I'm just going to tie these onto our tail. So I'm going to take our tail string and I'm just going to wrap it once around our pipe cleaners, and you can twist these on. You could add them however you would like to. You could also use ribbon if you have ribbon, but we are going to use pipe cleaner here. And I'm just going to make a loop and pull that loop down and fasten it onto my pipe cleaner. You can bend it and make it into a bow or make it into a shape. And I'm going to repeat that step, and I'm going to add 3 pipe cleaners to my tail here. So again, I'm just going to make a loop, put my pipe cleaner inside the loop, right in the center, and pull down to tighten that knot. And then I'm just going to bend my pipe cleaner. And my last one here, I'm going to wrap it around, make a loop, and tie my pipe cleaner on. For our final step, you're going to take the opposite end of your string that is not attached to your kite, and we are going to take our large popsicle stick, and we're going to wrap this string around the popsicle stick so that we have a handle for when we are flying our kite. Just going to wrap it all the way around. This also helps us keep the string nice and straight so that it doesn't get tangled, and we can let our string go as our kite gets higher and higher into the sky. All right, our kite is ready to go. Next, take your kite outside on a nice windy day and see if you can get your kite high up in the sky. Thanks for joining us for the July Maker Pack video tutorial.